Hello and welcome to Old Town Walled Garden, where Tarland Bee Group, the Seed Swap Group and the Apple Pressing share this facility at the moment. It's all Tarland Development Group projects. We're here with the kind permission of the McRobert Trust Estate, who lease us this land. So come in and have a look and see what we've been doing here. This site, we've only had it for a year, and we've been establishing it as a site with a wildflower meadow. We put up some information signs for you to have a look at, so there's information here if you want to come for a visit on some of the projects, on beekeeping in the area, on the tradition of keeping bees at Old Town of Kincraigie, and also on honeybees and pollinators themselves. We've also got some nice empty hives for you to have a look at, and these are all different kinds of hives, and there's lots of information. These hives were donated by a local gentleman and they've been restored by some of our members. On the other side of the path here we have some hives which we've utilised as raised beds for the Seed Swap group, and we're raising various things in here. Well, you can see the nasturtiums are taken over, but various things in here that we'll be able to collect seeds from with the Seed Swap group and show them how to do things like that with the seeds. So, part of the reason for us being here is that we are directly opposite the orchard, and one of the Tarland Development Group projects that will share this facility will be the apple pressing group. So hopefully when we get the education facility built, they'll have a home other than Dave's garage to come and do the apple pressing. So directly across, and of course bees are fantastic at top fruit pollination, so very even pollination coming for the apples this year. And just a short before you go, I know this is part of the market, this video, so you'll be able to buy Tarland Bee Group honey at the Food and Music Festival market that'll be in the middle of September, and all from bees that you've seen here at the community garden, and all raised by our beginner beekeepers. Again, the Seed Swap group making good use of these old hives that have been done up and compost put in for raising their seedlings. And we can walk around the path a little bit further. We've got a lovely bench here that was made by Fraser Petrie. This is in memory to Ronnie Greenlaw, who I'm sure a lot of you will know, who lived at Strathwelty, a great beekeeper himself, and the bench was made in memory of Ron from the Western Hemlocks. In fact, it had to be cut down on this site, so thanks very much to Fraser for making this lovely bench for us. And you're all very welcome to come and have a seat on the bench and enjoy the tranquil garden that we have here. A small shed here built by one of our members, Stuart. He's made a fantastic job of it with a little bit of help from some other people. This shed's just put up temporarily until we can raise enough money to build our education facility, which we really are hoping to do at the end of this year. Just a few more fundraising to do. But come inside the shed and see our little observation hive. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It lets you observe the bees at close quarters, but through glass, so the bees aren't being disturbed at all and you don't need to handle them. So the queen will be laying in here, and this is some honey that they've popped in round the corners here, and on the top they've got an empty frame waiting to fill with some honey. These will be transferred into a nuke for the winter because they can't actually stay terribly warm being spread out on 3 frames like this. Bee enclosure, the nice high fence, this forces the flight of the bees up so that they don't disturb people when they're in the garden because they're flying above 6 feet high. And we've planted a hedge which we got from the Woodland Trust, and hopefully that will come up and give them a fair bit of shelter. So this is where we teach, and the shelter's great because even if we get a slightly inclement day we can still manage to do some teaching. And you may also see that we've made use of the bee bowls, which are originals in the wall. They're actually a historic. So we've put some skeps into the bee bowls, and hopefully next year maybe we'll manage to get bees into the bee bowls. So that's the walled garden. We'd love you to come and have a look round and come for a visit. You're very welcome to come at any time. We will put a sign on the door, the gate, if we're teaching, just for your own safety, but other than that, you're welcome to come round and browse in the walled garden at Old Town of Kincraigie. Okay. So you didn't have 6 attempts to pick your queen up, you get 1. And the idea is to take hold of either her thorax or her wings. So you want to sort of come from behind her. So she's no use.
Are quite tightly bound as well.
Yes, I have. And she's got one slightly dodgy wing actually, but anyway, there she goes. Yeah. Okay, so I've got her. I'm used to doing this myself. So I've got her, I drop her, and I put my hand over the top. Okay, because I've still got hold of this and I just can't do everything basically. Fine. So this goes back in. But I can still keep her in there, and I've still got my hand over the top. I mean, obviously, if you had somebody with you, she's got stuck in the bottom. Come on, she's getting on her feet. So, and then I get my little plug in, and once she's turned over, I can mark her, just like we did a minute ago with my blue pen, and then we'll pop her back. No, that's white. There's a blue pen in that. Blue pen? Oh, there it is, it's in there. Thank you very much. So blue for 0. So she's, that's it. And you always just test your pen first. Okay. Because you can end up with a huge blob if you touch her. So you just want to get her thorax in between the squares. Just touch. So that's her now with a blue dot. It just makes her much easier to find. This actually would pop all the way off if I press too hard. Right, okay, so you're not going to damage it. Just a safety, thing. I wouldn't just like to use it in anger, to be honest. I'm much happier not to press too hard. So she's doing grand. So we'll just give a wee puff of smoke where she came out, and we'll pop her back in again. Okay. And we'll just let her walk in. She should be quite well accepted. Sometimes when she's been out the hive just for a second, they're not. So she should probably see. She just went straight down. Yeah. Straight down. She likes to be in the dark.
Now the bees were getting noisier in the last few minutes.
Yes,
because she's out.
She's out, and they were fanning. Yeah, right. They know she was missing. Yeah, that's it. So that's. I've seen eggs. I've seen grubs. I've seen the queen. I've marked her. I don't need to do anything else. That's fine. Okay, you don't need to look at every frame every time you're in the hive. So, queen excluder back on, and yeah, the nukes are really difficult not to squash bees because of that lip. So I usually just wriggle a bit. Okay, back together, update my notes, and that's us. So this is the 24th. So 10 days ago she wasn't laying, and today she is. Marked, laying, queen, and she's got a big blue dot on her. Grand! Done! Oh, just marked this queen and popped her back in the hive. It's all brood underneath her, you can probably see it. But the bees were all coming to feed her there. Clean her up because she's been touched. She's even cleaning herself. She's not very impressed with being touched by me. But anyway, you can see she's walking all over her brood and the bees. Woo! She's fast. All feeding her. Getting a bit of attention. Now, we've just dumped these bees in front of a skep, and fortunately they're all heading in the right direction and heading in at the door. Turned the entrance north so that in case the sun comes out, which it has, so glad we'd had the sense to do that. Good. You can see all their Nasinoff glands in the air all fanning. So that's the 7th segment wide open. You see the little pale patch on their bottoms with their Nasinoff glands open. That's it. 2, 3. Oh, well done. And another smack, yeah. Keep going, give it a good firm smack. That's it, well done. Perfect. Now you see how they crawl up. they can't help themselves, they go up, so. Lost her, she was on the wall there a second ago. A long dark queen. So, more than one queen in this swarm then. Let's see if we can, there she is, she's coming, she's just past the blade of grass. And she's heading towards going up and in. And she's kind of stuck in the corner there. There she is, she's heading up the front of the hive. Up the front, just almost climbing over a bee, almost going in. There she is, just going in. I don't know whether we got that or not. Anyway, okay, 2 queens in a swarm. It was a very big swarm.
One reason not to cut the thistle early. Honeybees, bumblebees, all sorts of pollinators.